Hey everyone, Jennifer Bleam here. You can probably tell that we have the whole Kaseya crew. Well, not the whole crew, but we've got a big group of people on this call. This is going to be a little bit different. We are having a ton of fun in the background. So I am seeing that we are streaming on Facebook. We will be taking questions. I'll be feeding those questions to the team. But this is a pretty unusual situation because Kaseya has a lot of people that are MSP facing and they are channel facing. So I want to kick us off. Obviously, Kaseya is sponsoring this group. We are thrilled to have them on board. You'll be hearing a lot more from them in the months ahead. But I'm going to kick us off by asking Dan Tomaszewski to introduce himself, his team, and explain like who are all these people? What is this crew that we're looking at?
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. It's really great to be here inside, and also really great for us to be able to sponsor your group. You know, you and I remember meeting you back in the day when I was an MSP. So it's really fun for me to be here, be a part of your group, and seeing what you're doing, you know, with MSPs and how you're helping them really accelerate their growth. And we're really excited from our side, you know, to be able to be a part of this journey with you and your members. So my name's Dan Tomaszewski. My role is the executive vice president of the channel. Really, what does that mean? It means that I need to build programs and things to support you, the MSP. How can we make sure our partner program? How can we make sure our enablement? How can we make sure we're doing everything possible to help you, the MSP, succeed? So today, the folks on this call, they're out there in the trenches with you. They're working MDF. They're out there at shows with you. They're your liaison for things. So there's so many angles of how this team really impacts. I mean, we'll go through some of those as we talk today, but it's an honor to have each and every one of these team members, you know, on this team because we're blessed. We've got a team that's over 60 people as an org. So you're seeing like 5-10 of us today, but we have over 60 people just like this that are dedicated in some way, shape, or form to MSP success. So we're really excited to be here. Oop, I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
I did. I muted so that I wouldn't like cough or something and cover up anyone who was talking. So obviously I was muting myself, but then you can't hear me talking. So, all right. So Dan, can you kind of introduce your team or maybe just introduce the first team member and then we will go from there?
Yeah, so I'll introduce Nicole first, and then let her talk about. Nicole is one of our new programs that we actually just launched, which is our MSP Concierge. So I'll let her introduce herself, and I think, Jennifer, we'll probably talk a little bit about that concierge and a little bit later, but we'll start off with Nicole and go around.
Amazing, thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jennifer. So I'm the MSP Concierge. I think some of the group might have noticed a little bit earlier this week, there was a bit of an announcement there, and we're still implementing and building out the MSP Concierge team. But essentially, I'm here in Miami, and I'm working really closely with all of Kaseya and Datto support to make sure that everything going on in the group, you know, any support issues, billing issues, it's a large umbrella of everything we're going to be helping out with, that everything gets addressed in a timely manner.
Amazing. Awesome. I can't wait to dig into that because MSPs love having support systems in place. They're not typically natural born marketers and natural born salespeople. So I love that Kaseya is obviously aware of that and then is putting resources behind it to support in that way. So we'll dig in a minute. All right. I'm going to randomly pick whoever is on the top of my screen. So Greg, I love your background. You look like you're calling in like from a pub overseas. So I'm all I have is my coffee and I don't have a beautiful window behind me like stained glass, but introduce yourself. Tell me what you do in the Kaseya team.
Hey, Jennifer, thanks for the intro. So my name is Greg Jones. I'm Vice President of Business Development. I head up this side of the pond for Dan and the MSP Enablement team. I'm actually live today from our Datto Blue Ram pub in our Reading office in our HQ in London, just outside of London. And ultimately, my role is that of a product evangelist for Kaseya and Datto. But more than that, really, I work for Kaseya and Datto, but I actually work for you, the MSP, making sure that you have all of the right knowledge and insights to support growth within your MSP business. And ultimately, that's what our department is, our organization, the MSP enablement. We're not about peddling products and services. It's about making sure you have the right insights. Yes, products and services are important, but it's about helping you in the MSP community to win, succeed. And yeah, I'm really pumped to be on this team. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the year ahead and how we can support the MSP community.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Greg stole my introduction. That was mine.
Yes.
That was just beautiful.
Jay's got to go back to the drawing board.
I have to rethink this.
All right, who wants to go next that can adjust on the fly? Greg, you took all the good talking points, apparently.
I'll jump in. So I'm Mike DePalma. I'm the Vice President of Business Development in North America. So Greg's counterpart. I'm on very regular calls with Greg, and it's always frustrating because it'll be 1 o'clock my time, and I'm head deep into emails, and he's sipping wine over in Reading. But no, I mean, similar to Greg, I've been with Datto for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years next month. Started out in the sales team, and I've been on the business development team for 7 years. So if anybody's been at a DattoCon, I've probably met you or you've seen me out there. And, you know, so we do all the public facing events, all the industry events. We've been to all of them. If you look at this team, there's 8 folks. We're in 8 different cities right now. So at various different events, or sometimes just, partner visits, MDF, things like that. So, it's always been really part of our culture to have this, MSP enablement mindset. And so one of the really cool things about, the merger, to see a team, like Dan said, of 60 folks, and the concierge program, for not just the Facebook groups, but if I'm at a booth and there's a problem that comes up, the ability to say, hey, I could get an answer for you quickly, or I can get on that and escalate that. And by the end of the event, have an update for them. For us, it makes our job so much easier. So, Nicole has been a godsend, although she probably hates seeing my phone number pop up all the time with an emergency. But no, and this team really gelled right away. We all kind of knew each other from, going to events. And so this was every one of them I probably wanted to hire at one point at Datto. So now it's awesome to have everybody on the team. So I'm thrilled to be here, and I appreciate you giving us some time here.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love the commitment to the channel, and specifically to solving challenges, right? Like any company of any size, whether you're a single employee or you're hundreds of thousands of employees, there are always issues to be resolved. Like we all have an ongoing issues list. And that's one of the challenges, is as the companies grow bigger, as the vendors grow bigger, there's red tape, there's, hoops that have to be jumped through. And so I have always appreciated that about Datto and Kaseya, that you are like, okay, let's fix this. There's very little, oh, that's not my problem, go call someone else. Like, someone grabs the challenge and gets it resolved, which is what everybody wants. So I love that. All right, I'm going to tap Miles.
Sure, sounds great. Well, Miles Walker here, based in Vancouver, Canada. I think I'm the lone Canadian in the group, so I take a lot of heat from the rest of everybody here. Dan's kind of a Canadian. He lives like a couple hours from the Canadian border. And but yeah, I'm based in Vancouver. We have a big office up here, the IT Glue office, which we're really proud of. It's raining here, as it always is in Vancouver. I just got back. I was actually in Dallas with Taylor last week, doing an event, which was great. Just to toot our own horn a little bit, we took home 3 awards last week, which we're really proud of. I blame Taylor for all those awards. I had nothing to do with any of that, of course. But yeah, it was a great event. We're out on the road a lot. I know a lot of people have taken my talking points, but we've got some cool events coming up, and we have obviously events in person, but we also have events virtually. I know I'm hosting a Cybersecurity Jeopardy event next week, and we're giving away a Nespresso vouchers, because it is Valentine's Day. So if you don't have Valentine's Day plans, nothing is more romantic than sitting on a virtual call, asking and answering questions in a Cybersecurity Jeopardy form. So I've been with the team since 2020. I got brought on when Graphics came into the Kaseya fold, and it's been a couple great years, and I know everyone here. So it's really nice that we're all one big team now.
You had me at coffee. I'm like, oh, I need to put that on my calendar. I might just have to be there.
Well, you know what? I'll throw the link in the chat.
Yes, throw the link in the chat, and I'll share it out to the Facebook group as well. So I love it.
Sounds great.
All
And we're giving out prizes for people who show up. It's not just for the 3 contestants. They get a big prize if they win, but for people who just show up, every 5th question, there's a prize given out. So
Nice. So 20% chance of me winning something. I like
Yeah.
it. All right, Taylor, you're up next.
Awesome. Well, everyone, took what I was going to say. So thanks, guys. I was hoping I was like, I'll just go last and no. I'm Taylor Thorson. I'm a channel development manager. So I get to work under Mike and Dan, which has been amazing. I come from the Connect Booster side. So I was at Connect Booster up until our acquisition and then joined this team. So I was on a team of 1 and now I'm on a team of 60. And it's been an incredible journey and it's so fun to work with these people. We have so many amazing things happening, so many partner programs and things that we're doing for our partners. And so I can speak for all of us that we're so excited to start sharing that. But I get a kind of team lead with Jason Price for MDF, which I'm sure we'll get into. So that's a really cool thing that we have for our partners as well. So thanks for having us. This is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Jason, you were just called, your name was called. So unmute and share a little bit about what you do day to day.
I officially have nothing more to say. You guys embody everything that I was going to say. Like I have a list here and I had to just keep crossing things off one by one. But it's Jason Price, channel development manager. I like to say that I am the most tenured person on this team, which I am. So I've been at Datto for like 9 years. So I beat everybody on the call. I think Mike is coming close, but unfortunately, he's no cigar for him. So I'd love to hang my hat on that. But really and truly, I just love being a part of this team. I love what this team is about. I love the things that we're able to bring that were successful from Datto in terms of the MSP community engagement. I love to learn the things that we didn't know about that Kaseya was doing very well and, maybe wasn't communicated out as it should have been. Like there's some crazy, awesome methodologies and things that Kaseya has been doing, but nobody seems to know. And being able to be a store of that information and bring it out to the world, I think is really, really awesome. So I'm excited, I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to, this year and many more.
All right, so I'm going to come to you near the end of the live, and I'm going to ask you to share a couple of those crazy things that have been happening that no one knows about. So make your list. And hopefully we won't do the same thing. We won't cross everything off your list, come to you and say, all right, Jason, bring us home. And you're like, I got nothing to say.
Gotcha.
So hold me to that. We're coming back to you in about 20, 30 minutes. So start making your list now.
Sounds good.
All right, Brian Doty, are you the last one that we haven't heard from?
I think so.
All right, so last but not least.
Yeah, now everything has been officially crossed off. No, I'm Brian Doty. I'm one of the channel development managers here on the team. I've been with Kaseya for a little over 2 years now. I worked with Miles Walker and Amelia Perro before the Datto acquisition, and now we have this awesome team. So that's really exciting. And I was thinking about this. A lot of the things that I was like, wish we had this, now we're putting those things in place, and getting to be a part of that is really exciting. Getting to roll that out to MSPs. In fact, I did an MDF event last week that was, in my book, the gold standard of how you do these types of events and how MSPs can bring on net new clients. I know that's a big thing for a lot of MSPs, and that's how we're helping enable their success through the use of the MDF program. So it was great to be a part of that. It was really close to home. But no, it's a really exciting year ahead. We have a lot of events planned. So I'm going to be, doing more of the industry events again, doing some more MDF events, and I'm doing a lot of work inside of the peer groups now. So that's kind of an exciting change as well. So looking forward to it.
Good. So one of the themes that I'm hearing is MDF. So I want to talk about MDF a little bit. It's something that I preach to my private clients, especially because they tend to be in that $1 to $5 million range, which means they're typically spending a fair amount with a handful of vendors. They're not super diverse. And so there are serious MDF dollars available to them, quarterly or annually, depending on the way that the vendor has structured their MDF program. So tell me a little bit about MDF, and I'll throw that out to whoever wants to handle that particular question. And let me hone us in a little bit. MSPs have, anywhere from 12 to 25 vendors, and it's impossible for them to keep up on everybody's MDF programs. And so I'm sure money gets not spent and just either goes back in the hopper or so how, for Kaseya partners that are watching, how do they find out how much MDF funds they have? How often can they access those funds? Like, let's just do a not super deep dive, but a bit of a dive into MDF.
Yeah, I'm going to let Jason and Taylor go, but Jennifer, one of the things is we made a commitment this year is Datto had it as a part of their program. And one of the things that we never had that before at Kaseya, but when we looked at it, we said we need to roll it out because we want to help people with their marketing efforts and things like that. So there's a program, I'll let the team go into it, but the cool thing I think about this is we didn't go and say there's a set amount that you get. It's more about how can we help you generate the most ROI. And if we've put together a plan that's generating an ROI, and we'll work with you on that. We're not just going to say you figure it out. We've got a big team that can support that. So we can meet with you, set up a plan, help you go through it. But we're looking at is how do we help you maximize and get an ROI from the different events, whether it's a lunch and learn, trade show, webinar, golf outing, you name it. Let us help you. And I'll let Taylor and Jason maybe take you through where we're going with it. But we tried to make it simple. But more importantly, is we've got a team of 60 that we can actually potentially go to your event and help you. So let them kind of go into that.
I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're both looking at each other like, who wants to start?
Taylor played that my mic's not working, so that Jay had to answer.
Yeah, so the MDF program is like near and dear to my heart. Taylor and myself have put like tons of hours and energy into looking at like what really worked at Datto and what things could have been done a little bit better, right? So the first thing is I think MDF starts off with the conversation, right? It's more about like, hey, let's get on a call. Let's see, like, what is your plan? Like, what do you want to do? How do you want to grow? And then how can we be of assistance? There's some calls I get on and it's like, we don't even need the money. We just need to, do a webinar, or we just need to collaborate in this way or that way. Sometimes it is about, the money, and we can say, okay, what can we do to put you in a situation that you are going to be able to succeed, right? How can we make sure that every dollar that we spend is going down the best path for success for you, right? And so I think one of the beautiful things that happens with us is that on a daily basis, I'm speaking to about 5 to 10 different MSPs all across the country, different verticals, different sizes, and I'm getting so much ideas and different ways that they're looking at MDF and events and their strategy, and I'm able to have these conversations with people and share this knowledge. So there is I'm always worried that I'm doing it in same geographical region, so I try to edit it out, right? So I don't talk to two people from Chicago within the same hour or something of that nature. But I think things like that are really helpful. I learned by talking to the MSPs. I've come to now realize that I don't know as much as I thought I knew, because each MSP knows their region, their people, their constituents, their prospects a lot better than I do. So I become a great listener, and being able to redistribute that information has been great for my part.
Another really fun part too is like sometimes MSPs aren't even sure where to begin when it comes to MDF though, right? A lot of people are like, what do we even do? A webinar, a live event. And the fun thing is our team also can just walk them through, jump on a call, like this is what we see works. And we have, roadmaps for people that are just starting for their first event. So people don't have to feel like they have to exactly know what they're doing. Like our team is there to help to build this program out for you. And again, help gain ROI in your business.
I love it.
There's been some partners that I've gotten a call with, and they need way more hand holding, right?
Yeah, right.
And luckily within this organization is Powered Services Pro, which allows more of that hand holding, more of that concierge kind of effect to their marketing efforts. And it's been awesome to be able to collaborate with that team under the same organization to say, hey, this person, they want to do, this, and this. They're just really at their wits' end in terms of how to execute it. maybe this might be a good opportunity to have a conversation and see how we can help them even further. So that's also been like really, really cool being able to tie those two different things together.
Now, do they need to be in powered services to access the MDF?
Oh, no.
Okay.
So as it is right now, it is that if you are a gold tier partner, you have access to MDF. If you are a Power Services Pro client, you may also be eligible for MDF as well. I think it's important to say that we do look at every single request, regardless, right? So if you are, starting out with, Kaseya and Datto, and there's an opportunity for us to assist and to help, and that we can see that there is a clear path to ROI. We don't just discount those people because they haven't hit that that level. So I think we want to be really, really flexible, and we want to kind of guide people, upward into becoming, a deeper level of a partnership with us. And we do that by any means necessary. So it is a gold tier or better, or Power Services Pro, but we once again listen to every single request that comes in.
So you mentioned that there's a connection or some kind of a dovetail between the MDF and the concierge. So what does the concierge service do? How can an MSP avail themselves of that resource?
Yeah, so there's two different things when we look at a concierge side of it. So we've got our powered services, which what he's referencing to is it's kind of that concierge that will help you with your sales and marketing efforts and work on it. With the new concierge program that we just put into place, and where Nicole is at, is look, I'm involved in all these Facebook groups. I'm active in all the different peer groups. I mean, I used to be in all these groups as a peer, so I know many of the faces that are out there. And a lot of times when change happens or something just goes on, and you just want that resource, you want somebody that you can lean on, and you don't want to have to explain yourself 20 times as you get moved from a department or things like that. So we sat down and we looked at what's the best thing we could roll out. And we rolled out our concierge program. That's a single point for you, the MSP. You have a billing problem, you have a support problem, you have a question on MDF, you have anything that you just maybe don't know where to go to get that answer. It's that concierge's role to really support you and make sure that they can go be your voice throughout the company, get the answers for you, set up the right meetings for you, and explain what's going on, with you not having to go and explain yourself 100 times and trying to go through that same message. We really want to simplify it and be a one point of contact for you to get to. Now, obviously, I want to clarify, this role is not to take away from your account manager. A lot of people have really great account managers and they can be that. This is really coming into play is if you just maybe you switch an account manager and you just don't know who they are. There's a billing problem or a support thing, you're just not hearing back from somebody. That's really where you can leverage this account concierge.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, it is, as I've said, as a company grows and you have so many resources and programs and training modules and like all the things, and then you add on to it the typical business things like billing challenges and how do I add new licenses and all of that. I can totally see how that would streamline the life of an MSP to just be able to, reach out, send a quick email and say, hey, where do I find that webinar deck? Or like, Dan did this great training on whatever, where is that? I want to go back and share it with my team, and to have that really, I can see how it almost would become an extension of the MSP's team, their in-house team. So I love that.
Yeah, and we're just starting. Look, I'll say this, the entire executive team, Fred, has really given this org and said, whatever you guys need to help MSPs be successful, let's do it, let's build it. And this is a testament to that. So we're starting here and we're not finishing here. We're going to make other programs and other investments throughout the year. This is one that we felt is really important right now, though, with the migrate. Anytime you go through an acquisition and we're migrating systems and there's account manager changes. Look, there are going to be bumps. We're like you said, every company has that. And so we're looking at is how do we make sure that when those bumps occur, that they can be, tamed down and you feel that you've got that support you need and you can at least pick up a phone when you don't know and get somebody.
I love it. Greg, I saw you unmute. So how does this apply internationally?
The way we've tried to develop this program is it's irrelevant in terms of what geographical location you are in the world. We wanted, same on the data side of the fence, really, business continuity no matter where we are. And this is a true acumen of how the acquisition has really elevated us in the marketplace. Fred, at the beginning of the acquisition, said we're going to take the best features within each of the organizations, i.e. Datto and Kaseya, and do more with that. And from my side of the fence, because I'll be honest, in the beginning I had concerns, and I've seen nothing but positive changes. I went from globally a handful of people to an org with 60 people to support the whole MSP community. This program has massively expanded in terms of our partner program. And as Dan said, they are kind of all independent, but for that holistic 360 approach, they all perfectly complement each other. And what I mean by that is even on the MDF, the Marketing and Development Funds, yes, it's an amazing program. It's the easiest to access within the channel. It's to help our partners grow, which is super important for the MSPs that we serve. But also, let's be honest, there's a direct correlation with MSP's growth and our business growth. That's the reason we are the size we are today, and we have an organization in MSP enablement of 60 people. But what we don't want to do is just give you MDF funds, grow your business, and then create problems within your business. So where Powered Services comes into it is, we have enablement managers to help you grow your business operational maturity level within your MSP, so that we make sure that not only you're getting new business, but that you're going to be able to handle that business. Okay, we're going out to market with an event to get new customers, but how do we price and bundle our services? And it might be advice and guidance in terms of what is happening globally, geographically, what are your competitors doing within the marketplace? So really, that 360 holistic approach to it. And then on the concierge side is, of course, everyone drops the ball. And I'm not saying we don't drop the ball. We absolutely do. Will we drop it in the future? Absolutely. But we will own it. We'll take accountability. And that's where this MSP concierge role is coming. So it's our offering of a kind of 360 enablement for our partners to facilitate growth, but also in a secure fashion to make sure we have business continuity for both sides of the fence.
Brilliant. Love it. Okay. And I also know, I don't know who wants to handle this question, but I know you had a recent hire, someone who has come back to the fold, which also goes to support that you're all about the channel and you're all about supporting your partners. And you've got not a new name, but a new-ish name. So Dan, you want to talk to that?
Actually, I'm going to let Mike talk about it.
Okay.
Because I'll let Mike talk and then I'll come in after.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a close personal friend too. Matt Scully came back to the organization, which was fantastic. He was at Datto for about 5 years. Fortunately, during COVID, Datto had a round of layoffs, and he went and worked at a couple different vendors, and I've been working on him for 2-3 years to try to come back. And so finally, he came back, I guess it was about 2 weeks ago. We've already sent him out on the road. The reason he's not on the call, because he's at an event out in California. And, he's somebody that anybody that's met Matt knows he's as genuine as they come. And, he takes these things to heart. If there's an issue, he will follow through. And he genuinely wants to understand about your business. He's fascinated with it. And so he's one of those personalities that when you meet him, he's genuine. And I think, he's talked to thousands of MSPs and he's seen it from other vendors. I actually think that's a big advantage. Working at other vendors in different capacities, but also, different product lines. So now he's heard all of the different things about Kaseya and Datto before that and all those things. So for him now to see it and see what's going on, he's ecstatic about being on the team. And just one last thing before I turn back to Dan, as proof of what this team does, Jay had to jump off for an MDF webinar. And then Nicole had to jump off to get on a call with a partner who is going through some issues. And, I said, that's kind of the number one thing here. So, but yeah, no, Matt Scully, send him a congrats on Facebook if you're friends with him, connect with him. He'd love to talk to everybody, but I don't know if I covered everything, Dan.
No, that's the part. Look, we're building a great team. We have a great team. What's the coolest thing for me is when you look at this team. I mean, look at this call right now. Miles came from Graphis. You heard him, say that. You have Brian that originally was from our Unitrends, team. You got Taylor that came from Connect Booster. You got Mike and Greg from Dado and Jason. And you start going through our team, and we've all come from different places in the channel, and you bring all of that knowledge together. It's so cool. And it also allows us to create programs that we would have never been able to do with just the mindset that we would, that we're used to living in every day. Everybody brings something different, and we've only been able to put the fuel on the fire now, and accelerating a lot of programs because of all the talents and where they've come from and what was good for their company, what worked great for this company. Now we're putting all that together. So it's cool to have Matt back, because Matt was actually my dado, the guy on the road and taking me out to dinners and as an MSP. So now it's just ironic, how the world, we're working together now. So it's so cool.
I love it. So my family laughs at me because when I cook, not when I bake, but when I cook, I tend to pull up about 10 different recipes, and then I pull the best pieces of each of the recipes out of it, and then I make my own. And so that's kind of what you're doing. Like, you've pulled the best pieces out of all of these different brands, and now they're under one umbrella organization. And that just bodes really well for the Kaseya partners, for the Kaseya brand, and the channel as a whole. So I know one thing we were hoping, we're almost out of time, but one thing you were hoping to touch on, and maybe we've already done it, just not in a super organized manner, is the different programs that Kaseya has. So we talked about powered services, we talked about the concierge, or are there any things that we did not, and we talked about MDF as well, anything we didn't touch on that you were hoping to be able to share today?
I mean, I think the relaunch of our updated partner program was huge. And, I was at the Canadian Reseller Awards last week, and we won a bunch of awards. But the biggest one to me, and I said it when I was on stage accepting it, was the best partner program. To me, that is such a testament to what this team does. And I know Dan kind of owns that, so I'll let Dan talk about it. But the partner program is huge, and it's kind of modeled after the data partner program, which we took a lot of pride in. But again, having a second set of eyes on it and saying, what if we did this? What if we added this? Things that we never thought of. Now it's as robust and as good as any program on the market, and I could say that in ink. If anybody wants to combat me, I'd love to have that conversation. But Dan, you could probably expand on that a little bit.
Well, look, with us being short on time, on things, I think really what we're looking at here is Dado had a great program. We've said it from day one. It's one of the reasons we looked at them, and from the acquisition standpoint, is they have such a great MSP presence. And people that wanted that blue diamond plaque, or, they're striving in their program to be able to grow their business. And we want to partner with folks in that. So a few things we've done, we talked about MDF, we doubled the funds in there, but not just doubling it, we doubled the resources, the folks that can go out. We created what we're calling a brand new partner day. And we're going to have these a couple times a year, where we're going to roll out the red carpet virtually and make sure that our partners can come in and experience all things. So it doesn't matter if you're the operations, if you're the tech, if you're the accountant, if you're the sales and marketing, there will be something for you, a track for you at this virtual event. We're going to have really big name keynote speakers to come in with a theme, but then you're going to be able to go see IT Complete in action. You can go meet with the product teams and talk to them and give feedback or ask questions. And really, it's the one thing we hear from folks is we want to engage with you more. And we're really trying. And through this partner program, we're giving more ways for you to engage with us. And this is something I'm really excited. We're going to give away over $30,000 in cash and prizes at each of these. We're going to make them fun, educational, but you should be able to come in and get a lot of your questions answered, or just really understand more about what's going on. So that's one big thing. As we go into more of them, we added a lot of other things in the program. But those are probably some of the biggest ones that kind of relate to the mass of everybody.
Amazing. I knew when everyone was piling in that this was going to be a great live event. I'm so glad. Like, there's nothing wrong with just having one person from the company, and we would have had plenty to talk about. Dan, we would have been able to fill 45 minutes with zero issues. But it was so fun hearing from the different voices, the different roles that are there to support the channel, to help the Kaseya partners become more and more successful. So I love there's a lot of vendors that pay lip service to that that message, but clearly Kaseya has put their money where their mouth is, and so I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone being on today and giving me an hour of your time. This has been amazing. Cannot wait till we do this again. So thank you all. Have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Jennifer.
you.
Take care.